this is part 45 of A Cry for Help. Okay? We first want to say a positive thought. The public is wonderful. Okay? We don't even have time to really survey the computer like we can, and we have a fraudulent computer. But even with the fraudulent web pages, we want to thank the public.
Yes, we do.
For
all their work to,
I mean, they put us on sites. Most of you put us on beautiful sites. You make us look like we need help, which we do, and you make us look like this is a serious case, which it is, and you're exposing it. And we thank you for that. We love you. Okay, the only thing is, we have to tell you in a nutshell what this lethal cult and the police are doing, because you always read my descriptions that this cult demands a police state. And we haven't even told you how we've been victimized and brutalized and thrown in dirty jails. And I was wearing ankle shackles and I almost lost my life.
All because
we were talking to someone on the street in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York, where Phyllis Limewine has her precinct there, the 102nd precinct in Richmond Hill, Queens, New York, and that precinct should be closed down for what they did to us. They acted like devils. And I just wanted to also tell you that every time we try to expose the corruption, like 2 days ago when we went to the libraries, which we still have to finish that story.
Yeah, we have to finish up that story.
After we leave the library, okay, we get about 8 prank calls. They can call us the cult. They can communicate, but we can't. Then we look at our missed calls, and we get a number,
It's 666 5555.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No,
okay,
let me give the number, please.
It's a very confusing number.
No, it isn't. It's very easy.
Go ahead.
666 area code.
Right.
Then 6666, like a regular phone number, 555.
No, you said more digits. You said more digits. I said it right.
No, you did not.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
What it was 666. Excuse me. I know what it was now. 666, because it's so alarming. Then another 3 sixes. 666.
Right.
Then 5555.
That's what I said.
That was the number.
Okay.
No, but you left out the area code 666.
Okay.
That's a message. We all know the message.
We know the message.
The public knows the message. They're telling us we are the devils, which they are. They admit it. But then they say that I'm besieged by devils. Okay? Thomas LIOTTI and his law firm wrote terrible
defaming
affidavits.
Mocking,
we're going to expose
slandering.
Jeff Brown, the lawyer, Leeds, Morelli, and Brown, Thomas LIOTTI, okay, in Westbury, New York, who's all part of this, Garden City, who's part of this, okay, who else is, Genevieve Lane LOPRESTI with her husband, Robert LOPRESTI, Alan Insell, who works in Thomas LIOTTI's office, who is a disbarred attorney, cannot practice any part of the law. Who else? Jamal Sweat, who was a temporary person, lawyer, so-called lawyer, working in Thomas LIOTTI's office, and we finally left that law firm, so did Jamal Sweat. Alan Insell remained there, though, doing all Thomas LIOTTI's dirty work, while he's disbarred, completely stricken from the calendar.
You have an order from the appellate division.
Exactly.
You cannot be
practice any part of the law.
Part of the law.
Okay, we're going to stop here because that's a whole part with the lawyers. We have many sections to this case.
What they did to us.
Okay, but we want to get...
They destroyed us.
The whole idea.
And took thousands and thousands of money.
Robbed us of all our money. And Jeff Brown is connected with our family. This is all going to be exposed. All. Jeff Brown from Leeds, Morelli, and Brown in Westbury, New York.
Garden City.
And Garden City. And our Dr. DeFazio said, Jeff Brown is a wheeler and dealer, and we have a letter written by Dr. DeFazio, which states that he's a wheeler and dealer, and it states that Jeff Brown did not want to do the right thing for me because he has to think about the economics of the case. I have a letter from Dr. DeFazio verifying it. It's notarized. Okay? And this is what it's all about. You get bribes and kickbacks. As a result, Susan and Joseph Tropeano die. And
that's the name of the lethal game.
That's the name. It's about money and death.
Money, kickbacks, and bribes.
Yes. And you're all the attorneys are gonna be exposed with all the judges, and we're gonna mention all the judges' names. But we didn't get to that yet.
Because enough is enough.
Exactly.
And that is it.
There was only one good judge, and I hope this judge is listening to our videos.
Yes. Great judge.
Great judge. Wonderful judge.
Humanitarian.
Humanitarian. Didn't listen to any of this.
Exactly.
He rose above the ruthless footsteps, and I told him he has to. Judge Cooper Smith, when Judge was outrageously, falsely arrested. We have to get to that. We didn't get to that. We had one judge, Linda Levitt, that was connected with Phyllis Lime up in Vermont, and I exposed it.
And Judge Cooper Smith is also in Vermont.
Yes, Judge Cooper Smith is there. So finally, she got off the case, but she didn't want to admit that she was recused.
You had another judge, Michael.
Yes, I know that. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish, Joe.
Yeah.
So she just left.
Right.
But nobody would admit she recused herself. Instead, we get from the clerk's office, oh, in criminal court, you get a different judge all the time. A different judge all the time. Criminal court is very serious. Okay? These are the lunatic answers we get. Then we had Judge Katz, another corrupt judge.
He was actually the first judge.
Yes,
in
okay.
that particular case.
I recused him also. Then we got, the case never started because I kept on recusing the judges. Once we got Judge Cooper Smith, he immediately, case never started because there was no case. He said about 4 times, we need to dismiss this case, we need to dismiss this case, we need to dismiss this case. We got the order from him. He was the first judge, and we want to thank you, Judge Cooper Smith.
Yes.
Because if Joe was put in jail, he would never get out. He would be beaten to death. And we thank you so much, Judge Cooper Smith. You are our hero, and we know that there could be other judges out there who want to help us too. The whole idea is this cult picks and chooses their judges when we go to court.
And we wanted to tell you.
We see them running to the courts like rats when we go in, so they could choose their corrupt judge.
And we wanted to tell you, but we had no way to get in touch with you, Judge Cooper Smith. And again,
we thank you so much.
You again
because
for seeing the law the way you're supposed to see the law and practice justice, and that's what you did.
We write about you in all the documents, okay, that you saved us. You could have gone further, but, we still thank you, Judge Cooper Smith, because you did what you had to do. You followed the law, and you listened to my motions, because I had to turn into an attorney, okay? I know the law very well. I know it better than attorneys.
And Susan's not saying because she's just tweeting on
no,
horn.
Because
unfortunately,
I'm a survivor,
because of this situation, she had to learn it, and she applied it perfectly. And
Elizabeth Jeffords, who was going to take our case to Washington,
D.C. Wife of Jim Jeffers.
She said to me, Susan, how did you write these lawsuits? You wrote better than an attorney. How did you learn this? And I told Elizabeth, Elizabeth, I need to save my life. So I had to learn the law. I took out law books. I took out other law cases, and I followed what I need to follow. I'm not saying that I know everything. Not even a lawyer knows everything. But I was able to write a very effective lawsuit. That's why the Judge Towns and Judge Martin, okay, who we have to talk about, and Judge Dollard, and Perb Court,
right?
Okay, all these courts were corrupt. All these judges, and each one will be exposed. But I don't want to go into tangents. Anyway,
basically, what they did. The infamous
Phyllis Lime one.
No, the infamous. Yeah, that's also infamous. But the infamous word barred.
Yes, and what this cult.
Bottom line, that's it.
If you notice in my descriptions, where we haven't been talking so much about it because we're always sidetracked with these violations. When we go out today, the cult, the gang stalkers, we're going out today. Okay. It's no secret. When we go out today, the gang stalkers follow. And there's always incidents of violations.
Yeah. It's like having your own entourage.
Yes.
Like escorting you.
Yes.
I guess we must be very...
famous.
Very, very important to you.
Yes, they want to kill us.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game. Money and debts. That's the name of the game for devils. Anyway, what I wanted to say, because we did go off on tangents.
We did.
Okay, I'm sorry. But, you know, we have so much to tell you. Oh, like I always say in my description most of the time, Phyllis Longwan's satanical cult demands a police state. So, the police are part of the cult. So we're living in barbaric times. Pretend this was the times of David and Goliath. Okay? David needs to be saved. There's somebody...
No, there's just an echo going. Yeah. That's it.
No, we're getting the noise.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's just keep going.
There's somebody in another part of the jungle. If he could get to David, David will be saved. But that person has no way to communicate with David. He doesn't have a telephone. He doesn't have text messages.
His email doesn't work.
His email doesn't work.
Because it's blocked. Illegally blocked.
No, well, they didn't have things then.
Well, we're just making an example.
He doesn't have emails. How else can you communicate, Joe? Text messages, phone, email.
Maybe smoke signals.
Okay, yeah. So he sends smoke signals, or he takes his rope like Tarzan does, and goes from tree to tree. What we are trying to say is that everything in our lives is barbaric. We cannot have communication because the cult works with the police. The police usurp their powers by using the Patriot Act because they can use that when people are criminals. They can block their calls. They can confiscate their videos on the internet. Anything to gather information to put these people in jail.
If that's done the legal way.
Yes.
Yes.
I just said that you usurp their powers.
Yes, I'm just...
Okay, the police are doing this with the cult so they never get exposed. Okay? So we have absolutely no communication. Basically what our lives are about is blocked. Just before I went on the internet, I had to get something from ICTTF, International Cyber Threat Task Force, to show what they're doing on that site, the cult, and maybe the police too. So they didn't want me to get the pages printed. So you know what happened? They put a big blue rectangle.
Blue, yeah, on the screen.
On the screen. Okay? To block us. But I beat them to it because I already took the copies. They're monitoring everything we do every minute. They made our computer their home in my computer. They actually talk to us and write to us on browser bars. We are not going to quit. And then they put all kinds of profanity. What I'm trying to say, the motto of this case is block, destroy, murder. If you block someone from getting any kind of services whatsoever, and there's people out there that want to help you, but you cannot communicate with them because you lost all means of communication. We pay for services like the phone, but we can't use it. We pay for text messages, but we can't use it. We pay, well, we don't pay for emails. It's a service we get through the internet service. So actually, we do pay for it.
Yeah, because it's part of the service.
Yes,
you do
we pay
for
internet, emails. So we can't use it.
Still pay for it.
But the cult and the police take complete custody and control of every means of communication. And then what they do, they immediately run to these people and say you cannot help the Tropeanos. Some people get threatened and they say to us, I can't help you, all of a sudden, when they were going to help us.
Some, they act very nervous.
Yes, very nervous.
They don't know what to do.
And so, you know, we actually, a couple months ago, there was a lady sitting in shock because she was going to help us without getting into details.
Right, yeah, that's
Joe
true.
went back to her, and she looked
like she was in a daze.
In a daze.
Just right after the incident happened.
Okay? Or what they do, they have to pay huge amounts of money. Tom Flood of Richmond Management is a very wealthy man because he listened to the cult and the police, and he's the one the main one that's connected to our, that allowed our wire to be connected to the cult networks of computers
in our apartment.
in our apartment.
And this is why we're having this lethal happening to us.
We're going to end it here. We're going to be right back. Thank you.
Thank you again.